Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac. We refuse to hold back our thoughts and our feelings. We may or may not have some mild PTSD. Putting it lightly. I was annoyed by literally all of them. His death is about 500 months away. The mystery man vibes about him definitely were alluring. Dante was definitely driving me up the wall. I was getting sick and tired of his shit. Pepe Le Pew was the vibe. Anytime Dante was like speaking Italian, I was just skipping past it. I couldn't. They just set us up to drop us off cliffs. Boy, were we in for a ride. All right, everybody. Why did I say it like that? I'm clearly buzzed. Okay. Welcome to Quicklit, where hyped books climb our TBR so fast, we drop absolutely everything to talk about them. I'm Kara. And I'm Sarah. And today we are talking about Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac, the prequel series connected to Zodiac Academy. And holy moly, it has been a journey. A journey. So last year, Sarah and I made the brave decision to take on Jamie, aka That Girl Reads Ultimate Zodiac Academy reading order, which has us reading the first 3 books of Zodiac Academy and then shifting to the 5-book Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac series. And we ended on a bit of a cliffhanger in ZA3. So big deal. We are here. We did it, and we may or may not have some mild PTSD. Am I right, Sarah? Mild is putting it lightly, but we did it. We did it. And in today's episode, we will be partaking in a little bit of a therapy session, a little bit of a dish fest, and our completely unfiltered, honest reactions to whether or not you should read Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac, what we thought of it. So this is your spoiler warning. We have so much to get off our chest with this. So with that, get cozy and let's get into it, ladies. Now, before we give you all of our thoughts, we thought partially for us and partially for you, why don't we just do a bit of a refresher on what exactly went down in these books and in which books did that go down. I would also like to add that I think it's important that we add a bit of a caveat to this episode that while we refuse to hold back our thoughts and our feelings at this point in our journey, we do know that there's a bigger arc and like story ahead in Zodiac Academy. And there's a reason why we were supposed to read this now. And we don't know that reason yet because we haven't continued yet. But we still wanted to share our feelings all the same. And we do plan to tell you exactly how we feel after we get through the next Zodiac Academy book. So we can really tell you whether, in our humble opinion, if it was worth the effort. So with that said, Dark Fae. We've got Elise. We've got Gareth. He's died. Elise is pissed. She knows that there is a king connected to his death. And she thinks it's got to be one of these kings of Aurora Academy, Leon, Dante, Ryder, or Gabriel. So Elise gets herself into Aurora Academy, and she plans to get close to them and find out which of these boys killed her brother. Now, as one does, romance immediately ensues, and all of these men start yearning for Elise, and a bit of a harem starts to form, which we love. In Dark Fae, Gabriel sees a vision of him and Elise with Elysian mate rings in their eyes, and he believes they are mated, and then is immediately a shithead to her and causes Elise to run away, basically. And so begins the strange dynamic of Gabriel and Elise in the Ruthless Boys series. Now, in this book, unfortunately, we learn almost nothing about Gareth, except that the meteor shower connected to his death is about 500 months away. So we are obviously not learning anything about him for a very long time. And I don't know the number. I didn't go back to check, but I'm pretty sure it was like 500 months. It felt like 500. It's like chapter 3. 500 months earlier, Gabriel was at a meteor shower, and you're like, oh boy, I thought we were going to get there by the end of book 1. And my delusional little brain thought, we're just going to go, we got to figure out what happened to this brother by the end of this book. And there's other stuff, right? Wrong. At the end of the book, when we basically still know nothing about Gareth, things really
settled in for me, and I had a lot of sadness, I would say. I came to terms with the sad reality that we were going to be on a long journey with Gareth.
Oh my God, 100%. But I still thought we would have some semblance of an understanding by the end of book one. Maybe book two,
Yeah.
maybe, but we did not.
No, I still thought, I don't care how many months they're talking about, I still thought we were solving the mystery in book one, and then we didn't. And I was like,
We're cooked.
this is the story. I see. Okay. So, anyway, Dark Fae was decent. We had a
Yeah.
good time setting things up. We like our weird characters. I think we need to talk about the boys. So, at this point in the journey, Kara, which king was at the top of your list and which was at the bottom, like by the end of the book?
I was annoyed by literally all of them at the beginning. And I think that's because they were suspects. Like, I was like, don't trust any of you, don't know who to trust.
Mm-hmm.
But by the end of the book, I don't think it's a surprise it was Gabriel. For sure, like the mystery man vibes about him definitely were alluring. I love not knowing what a guy is thinking and like that mystery. So him, of course, Ryder, he's like my typical hot type and also mysterious man. But I did find in this book he was a little bit try hard. Like it felt like he was trying too hard to be like badass.
Yeah.
And that isn't cute either. So that says a
No.
lot because he's my
Yeah.
number two. Next was Leon. I found him super annoying and I felt like he was just kind of like the jockey, popular blonde kid that was just like whisking his hair
Yeah.
back with all of his little Mindies.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dante just gave me the ick. He was just so cringe. Like I hated his like little like Italian like cara mia like
Yeah.
I was getting sick and tired of his shit.
Pepe Le Pew was the vibe.
Literally, oh my God. So true. Now I need to know, like, is it the same for you? Like, where were you at?
Yeah, it was pretty close. Gabriel was definitely at the top, even though I was so mad at him for being so mean to Elise. But he was definitely like, okay, we're gonna have a redemption arc. We love Gabriel. I would say, I mean, Ryder was definitely like up there. I know what you mean, but I did really like the hypnotic magic. Like I just liked everything he had going on
Yeah.
as a character. Like he was not annoying me, really.
Yeah.
He was trying hard, but of all of them, he was the most solid. I don't think I even gave Leon a chance. Like he was not in the equation for me. Dante was definitely like driving me up the wall. Like he was so annoying. So yeah, he was at the bottom for sure.
It's crazy. Like, can we just say, like, where things go? It's like wild. Definitely a character book for sure. So,
This is what we know about the Twisted Sisters, is that they just set us up to drop us off cliffs. So we know you're going to mess with our heads, and we love that about you.
leave us in this lurch. And then we get into Savage Fae. So things start off super rocky with Elise. She returns to campus after witnessing the black card sacrifice ceremony. So at this stage, Gabriel lies to the principal. He says she was hallucinating, which was one of his many dick moves, and then just continues to avoid her, then saves her and tries to force her to be with him and no one else. So thank you for that one, Gabriel. But for some reason, I still loved you. And surprisingly, we did learn a little bit about Gareth, but not a lot. And at this point, Elise is still suspicious of everyone, including her four kings. Now, Elise's relationship does get deeper, more connection and family visits, that sort of thing with the kings. And it ends with a pretty ferocious gang battle. Ryder, he infiltrates Dante's club and almost kills everyone. And at this stage, we learn that Ryder was there on behalf of Dante's uncle Felix, which essentially began a war between the Escura clan and the Lunar Brotherhood. So some wild stuff happened at the end that always just kind of kept me hanging on. But I'm curious, Sarah, did anything change for you here? Like, where were you at?
I think that like the end of this book was like, okay, this is what I needed. I can't hang on to this story just on the breadcrumbs we're getting on Gareth. So this made me feel like, okay, there's like a bigger plot here, and I like that. And I did like this whole thing at the end and the uncle and the gangs and all of that. I was into it. With the boys, I think in this one, Dante starts getting a little bit less annoying. Like he starts getting a little bit more likable. Gabriel was pissing me off. Like, and I fully believe they were mates. So this was an emotional roller coaster.
I still really liked Gabriel. I felt like he was just getting the shit end of the stick, and there was going to be maybe like a switch up with all of the boys. I don't know. I felt like I felt like there was a reason we were like watching him and like he was being a dick, which there
Mm.
was, but no change. Dante, still not a fan. Still not a huge fan of my boy Dante.
No, I don't know. I think probably Leon started annoying me in this book, maybe. Like he was
Fair.
always just kind of like light and entertaining, but I would say Dante maybe just like slotted into third and Leon was like actually on the board now because
Yes.
she's entertaining. I can't remember if it's book 1 or 2, but they go to the dance together and there is like some nice things between them that you're like,
Yeah.
okay, Leon's not horrible. He's actually like nice. And
Oh
so he's like on there.
yeah.
He's
Like
on
the
there.
little coin thing. Like that was I don't know what book that was either, but like that was cute. He did start to get less annoying for sure. Both Dante and Leon are like not my type on paper, like in terms of their
Mhm.
characters. And so I was like Team Ryder and Team Gabriel. I was like, those are my men. But boy, were we in for a ride with
Yeah.
three more books? Three more books?
3 more books.
Wild.
At a certain point in the series, it might have been about here. Anytime Dante was like speaking Italian, I was just skipping past it. I couldn't. I can't with the Italian that's not being translated. I don't like it.
I
It's
know.
too much. It was not. And I decided that Dante was Miguel from Love Island and I was like, okay, we like him
Oh my
cuz I
god.
like
That's way better. I honestly should have done that. I saw him
yeah.
not like that whatsoever, which is definitely why. Like I kind of saw him actually as a Guido. I
Yeah.
saw him as a Guido. That's what it is. With like spiky hair. Ew.
So then we get into book 3, Vicious Fae. And in this book, Elise manages to get her hands on a video of Ryder banging his teacher, Mrs. Nightshade. And they have some sort of weird arrangement going on. And so Elise decides to follow this teacher and then discovers there's like a Killblaze lab under campus, which she then destroys. And this very cool and exciting scene, which I very much enjoyed. In this book, we get a special appearance from Lance Orion, my fave. There's a bit of a spark of a friendship between Gareth and Lance that begins, which we think might just be something that is important as we move back into Zodiac Academy. Elise and the Kings hatch a plan to stop the Black Cards, and Elise ends up getting caught, pushed down a well, and then being attacked by like a rabid vampire. There is an epic battle once the Kings find Elise, and they manage to kill Nightshade, who is like the big bad in this book. But for a minute, we really think that Leon is dead. This one got me, Kara. Like, I don't know about you, but I thought, shit, they went and did it.
I was
However,
kind of happy they did. I'm like, do something.
I know I am a kill a main character person. Like,
So am I,
I
even
won't
if
be
it
mad.
hurts.
I actually might have shed a fraction of a tear. Like, I was sad. I thought it was happening. I
Same.
think there
I
was
was actually sad too. Like, there's something weird about these books. They like fuck me up.
It's because like the plot gets weird, but the characters are really likable
I
and like
know.
you like hate them and then they make you like them and then you like almost feel bad because you didn't like them for a while and you're like, "Oh, you have all these redeeming qualities I've seen now." So, it got me. And I think there was like a teaser death in the other book. One of the other books, there was like a Ryder moment. I think there was an early Ryder moment and I also thought he was dead, but then it was a quick switch.
But then there
So
was a
then when
late
this
rider
happened,
moment that I thought was absolutely ridiculous, which we'll get to.
but this one, like, because he was full dead. Like, he was
Yeah.
actually dead. So yeah, it was a sad one. But then Dante comes along, swinging his electricity around, and boom, he's alive again. So we're happy. Great. But in the biggest plot twist of the entire series, maybe of like the last 6 months of my reading experience, Elise and Leon get called into the woods where they find out they're Elysian mates and just ruins Ryder, Dante, and Gabriel. They're just devastated. And I don't blame them. And I just was like, is this like the Leon death thing? Is this not going to be real? Or like,
Yeah.
what?
It was wild to me. Honestly, okay, I will be real. It sounds like from that synopsis, it's a great synopsis. It sounds like so much happened in that book, but that book was like 14 hours, bro. And by the end, I was like, not even by the end, like, I want to say 75% through, I was like, I don't think I can do this. Like, I don't think I can do it. And then things start to happen. And then you're like, fuck. Like, at the end, I was like, I have to keep reading now.
I know.
Like, it was such a twist. Like, I was so angry about this book. I was so pissed. They really made me hold on.
I remember you reading this book and you like literally being like, I don't think that I can do this. And I was like, sure, but if you just like go a little further, there are some things that are pretty significant. And I just kept trying to be like, I know this one is not very action packed. There's like a lot going on with the boys too. I think I
Yeah.
kind of missed that as well. There's like the star bond that Ryder and Dante make. I actually loved that they couldn't touch her. There was
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was creative.
We
That was
loved
cool.
that.
I
So there
forgot
was
about
some
that
very
too.
interesting spicy things in this book.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
tension, which was very necessary because there was a lot of like build up in the first two and then things were happening and like we needed this. We needed the reset. But I did actually really like that move. That was very creative and fun.
Yes, yes. But somehow I turned it around in the end and I was like, I'm definitely in a toxic relationship. Like you're giving me breadcrumbs and I'm continuing on this journey. Like I can't stop. Like I keep coming back for more.
I mean, I would say the creativity alone in the spice scenes, I was like, interesting. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of it going on in a lot of different ways and a lot of unexpected scenes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The spice was very creative. There's something about these books that are so endearing. So don't
Yeah,
ask me why.
I would be so much more positive if they were shorter. So where are we at with our rankings now? Now we've found out their Lycian mates, Leon almost died.
Yes. Okay, so this book is where things really started to pick up. Like from last book, we started to really get more of Leon. And so Leon was actually my number one for this book. Like I felt like he was super endearing and sweet. And then boom, switch. Dante is my number two. There was some spice in this one as well. Leon and Dante, like I loved that whole thing between them. And I also really liked that he was like helping Elise uncover Gareth. Like he's like the mystery around Gareth and like what was in the cavern. I think it was Ryder's tavern. There was like a proof video of Gareth. And so I was like, okay, like this is redeeming. Like he's really trying to help Elise. And then yeah, Ryder I got suspicious of because of the video. And then Gabriel just wasn't really around as much in this book. Like he was just boring.
He was boring. Like,
Yeah.
and he was whiny.
Yeah, he was whiny.
Gabriel. I was mad at him.
Yeah, I was getting sick of like I'm sorry, I kept you up there as long as I could. You're done.
Leon was definitely not my number one. I mean, he was like crawling up there, but I think Ryder was at the top, and I just didn't
Ooh.
believe that he was the one. I think it was like this part of the book that I was like, definitely none of them killed Gareth.
Yeah.
So it's all just like there's stuff around. But I think Ryder was like, I just liked everything he had going on. Whether I thought he was like the best for Elise or not is a different story. But like
Yeah.
he was just like
Fair.
delivering. Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like something about his toxic nature and like the fact that he was hiding that video from Elise like rubbed me the wrong way. And I was like, I don't think that this is the dude. He does come around quite significantly in the following books.
Yes. And like I think at this point Leon I liked as his own character and a very refreshing character compared to the other boys, but I did
Mhm.
kind of find him annoying. Like he was doing too much and like
Yeah.
wants her too much and wants to be everything for her too much. Um
He
yeah.
grew on me. He grew on me.
He I got there as well.
All right, Broken Fae. We're still going. We're still trudging along at this point. We get the most appropriately named book because all of the kings and Elise are super depressed about this big mate moment. And Leon, being the selfish lion, the mean lion that he is, decides to find a way to build this pride between all of them and bring all of the kings back to Elise. So definitely an open relationship kind of vibe. And he succeeds, and Elise builds a deeper bond with the men and discover that Gareth's death and the Black Card are seemingly connected. And while this is happening, Felix Oscura, Dante's uncle, attacks him and brings the group together and forces Dante and Ryder to essentially put their beliefs aside and fight together in this in this book as brothers. Leon basically kidnaps everyone for the most intense orgy in a Christmas cabin that there ever was. And in the very end, Elise ends up being kidnapped by King and essentially leaves all four boys to do whatever they can do to bring her home. So a lot happened in this book, like a lot of great character development, actually. I actually liked this book.
Yeah. It was slow to start. I would
Yes.
say, like, the whole mating bond stuff, like, this is where Leon won me over because he really, like, put his money where his mouth was while they're all kind of being a bunch of piss ants about the situation. And she's just, like, so sad. He is doing everything and he's, like, trying to convince them and just, like, being so supportive of her. I see why this has happened. But also, I was like, why are we bothering with all of these other men though? Like, if we have this mating bond, then like, are we really just going to be like, fuck the stars? Like, that
Right.
I was struggling with.
Right. Same. Yeah. Like you would think that they would all come together at the same time.
Gabriel was definitely like at the bottom of the pile at this point because also
Same.
Dante was like creeping up where he was like showing more maturity and like
Yeah.
just, yeah, he starts showing some more redeeming qualities.
Yeah, in this part for me, like Leon was still number one. Ryder, I really liked because I feel like he had to do a lot of character development to get to where he was and like actually be okay with fighting with Dante in that situation. Then Dante, like he's never been my favorite, but like, he's just shoved in
Yeah,
there. Like my third was definitely not Gabriel. So yeah, Gabriel was like dead last at this point. So how the tables turn.
Gabriel. I mean, I do like Gabriel for Ryder, though. I did like the friendship thing going on. Was it this book that they kill Mariella? That I loved. I was like, get
Yeah.
that bitch.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. That was really cool. That really made me love Ryder a lot because, again, he's just like finally accepting love. Like he just wasn't able to accept love. And like starting to see that development in him was really, it was just nice.
Yeah, agreed. Then we get to Warrior Faye. This is book 5, the final installment. And in this book, the kings must save Elise because she has been kept down in King's Lair. Here we finally learn Gareth's fate. Holy cow. I actually, for a second, thought they weren't going to tell us. And I was
I
scared.
thought we were just going to die without that info. I thought we were going to have to make something up.
And I actually thought he was alive. Like, I fully was fooled into thinking he was still alive.
I thought he was alive too. I
I
liked
was
that part.
I know I wanted him to be alive really badly. And I was like, why are they not cracking the code on this mystery? He's got a bag of cash and a map in a car. Like,
That
clearly.
really pissed me off. That really pissed me off. Don't even get me started. It was like they literally found clues that he was alive, and Elise is like, "I miss my brother." I'm like, "Go look for him then."
I know. Oh, Gabriel, whoever's blocking my sight, I'm like, why are you so bad at this? Like, just go figure it out.
I
Like,
know.
you're
I know.
doing nothing but crying. This whole time we thought he was alive, and it turns out he's just dead. So. He was a sacrifice to King's Blackheart card group, who we then learn is actually Titan, the teacher that Elise bonded with, which that was a big surprise for me, and I was very sad for her. So good
Yeah,
on the Twisted Sisters.
that was a big twist. I did not see that coming.
For a long time, I really thought that King was Lionel, and
So
there was a
did I.
point where I was like, I'm gonna be so mad if it's him. Like it's gonna be so obvious. I'm gonna be so mad, and then it
Same.
wasn't.
I thought
So
it might be like I was like grasping at straws at one point. I was like, could it be Eugene? Like, is Eugene involved? And then I was like, wait, what about Grayshine? And then I'm like, no, not the guy that gets on the PA that's like, "Good morning, special flowers."
he's like a weirdo. Like,
Yeah.
but I like him. Yeah. Or I'm like, it's nobody we know, and that's going to be more annoying.
Yeah.
So Elise does manage to take down Titan in a very kind of like sad and complicated, dark magic infused event. She almost loses herself to the dark magic that she needs in order to destroy him, but she is brought back to herself after seeing Gareth beyond the veil and finally getting her closure, which I did quite enjoy seeing that moment with them.
Hmm.
As was kind of hinted at in book 4, we discover that the vampire from under the school is Elise's father. So we get another reveal. What we didn't think was that he was an Altair. And Elise is actually part of this celestial family, which I thought was very cool. Again, it was like, okay, I feel like there's some stuff in here that feels like this is why we're reading these books.
Hmm.
So I really liked that. I thought that was very cool. Throughout this book, Elise manages to build bonds that are strong enough that she bonds with all of them. And the story concludes. We do get an epilogue with pregnancies and children. And
Girl,
the
there was
weirdest,
multiple epilogues.
yeah. Yeah, true. Epilogues, multiple childbirths and pregnancies, and really just like the weirdest Hallmark movie of an ending that I've ever read. But we're just gonna not. We're gonna not and
I
move on.
literally think I stopped reading after a while. Like, I was like, it was like 1 month later, 3 months later, 9 months later, 18 years later. And I'm like, okay, I can't do this. I cannot do this. Like, I have done my best. I've done my best. This is where I'm drawing the line. I just can't do it. I'm sorry.
I can't. No. Enough of the months, enough of the meteor showers. Like it's too much. So I definitely hit a point I hadn't hit in any other book before, which is I can't handle any more spice. I am gonna throw up. So I was literally skipping scenes and like pitball matches and things that were just like, dude, like this, I do like these characters. And maybe if I didn't have like 20 odd books left to read in this series, I would be enjoying every page and don't know. But I am not in that situation and I have so many things to do. So we were skipping.
We were skipping. I was skipping. And like that is just, it's not like me. I don't think it's like either of us. Like a lot of times it is very intentional with the plot. And it did just feel like too much. And it wasn't even just the spice, it was like random scenes of them in the cafeteria, like talking and like Eugene being there. Some of Eugene's parts literally made me laugh out loud. Like I kind of
Yeah.
liked like how he had his moment, but at the same time, it's like, come on, like please, if they fed in a little bit more plot and like still included those endearing moments, I think it would have hit harder for me.
Yeah. And it's interesting because, like, some people I know who've read the series and liked it, they read it first. I wonder if that changed the dynamic because this one is more character forward than
Mhm.
Zodiac Academy is. And so maybe that's why other people had a different experience compared to us.
Mhm.
And also not having this cliffhanger hanging over our heads from Zodiac Academy 3 of like we get like this reveal of information and it doesn't quite make sense. And so we're just sitting here waiting to get back. And so to me, I know that that was part of why I was impatient. I don't know that it would have felt different otherwise, but I'm trying to imagine other people and how they experienced it and how they had such a different experience.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I can see what there is to love about it because for some reason, like I literally still think about the characters sometimes and I'm like,
Hmm.
"Oh, like that was cute. Like that was fun." Like I think fondly about those books in so many ways, but then at the same time I'm
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, like you would have to pay me to sit through all of that and like read word by word again." Like it was just too much. But the characters, and maybe it was because it was so long that you got such a deep connection with the characters. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. But I like love to hate it and hate to love it in a weird
Right.
way.
So by the end of the series, where did we land? Out of these boys, who stole our hearts? Who was on the bottom? What was the final conclusion?
I feel like all of them had like a special place in my heart toward the end, but I will say Leon and Ryder really took the cake for me. Leon was an
Mm-hmm.
unsuspecting one. I feel like he really did climb the ranks and like the character development was really sweet. I thought between him and Elise, and he was kind of the glue that held a lot of the group together, and I really liked that. And then Ryder, I think, had the most character development, at least for me, like in seeing him come from this world of just like getting off on pain to like
Mm-hmm.
and then leaving the family that he knew like his personal values behind to
Mm-hmm.
find a new family. Like that was just I really liked that. I thought that the character development between those two was super strong.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think like the arc with him and his whole gang,
Yeah.
and like that was another switch up that I didn't see coming, which, okay, can we just for 1 second talk about in this book? So there is, I think earlier on, there is like a death scare with Ryder. Then in this book, another one of the like, I can't handle you dangling this carrot in my face anymore. Just fucking kill this guy. The near death experiences, like 11 of them, and the tease. Every time it was like, you don't know you're in Gabriel's view, so here he is, and then whoop, nope, didn't die. And I
I
was like,
know.
girls, you can do it once, you can maybe do it twice, but now piss off.
Yeah. And then like the ending too, when
Yeah,
he was with Gabriel in the fight and like Scarlett's like they like switch bodies or like he
I
like
agree.
doubles as her. I'm like, okay, likely story. Like this feels a little weird, you know?
Or don't tell me when we've been able to rely on Gabriel this whole time and he's saying there's literally no way out of this, then don't let him get out of it.
I didn't love that either. That felt annoying. If they like let us in on the secret that Ryder was working on this like special power that he had with Gabriel, like even
Mhm.
just a little hint, then I could have been like, oh, okay, like they're trying to do whatever they can to like reverse the fate. And then I would have been a little bit more, I think, receptive to the idea that he was alive through all
Mhm.
of that. But the fact that we were just like left in the dark to think that he was just gonna die. And then it's like, surprise, he was able to do this weird magic thing that no one really knew about. And he perfected in the secret. And now he killed Scarlet instead.
I'm like, the writer that I know is not walking around looking like a lion
Yeah.
to cover up who he is.
It ended how it ended, and we ended up where we ended up, and we read five
Yeah, we
five
did.
like I want to say 15-hour books, 14, anywhere from
I
like
don't know.
12 to like 14-hour books.
Yeah, I keep rounding it to 45 hours. I haven't done the math, but something like that. So I think my king ranking was really close to yours. I think Leon like was at the top. He was also the one like doing the work. Like he was the one who kept like making the plans to go and get Elise, and then like Gabriel's like smirking in the corner like, "Oh, this is going to happen." I just didn't like Gabriel's vibe anymore. I actually
Yeah.
was not happy that they ended up like getting a bond. I was really hoping that Gabriel was just like, after all of this and it looking the way it was looking, that he wasn't going to get the bond with Elise. And in the end, they just weren't going to be bonded. And he was going to go into Zodiac Academy open and then find his person.
Okay, I like that.
What a full circle story. We started off thinking we were mates. We
Yeah.
were wrong. I kind of just didn't buy it by the end, honestly. Like, Gabriel was such a hard no on this like open thing. Out of all of them, he was the most resistant. And that epilogue, it was like, ugh, this is
And we didn't
I feel like
really
I don't know these people, you know?
Yeah, we didn't really get like the character development that I think we got with Ryder that like made it more believable over time that this could be a thing that happened. Like, Gabriel was just like more of like a hard no for the longest time and then finally came around in the end. You're right, like it didn't really feel authentic.
No, I didn't like it, honestly. But I also quietly was still like, I do kind of still like Gabriel. I feel like
Mm.
he's being such a child, but I like the idea of like older Gabriel and there being a new storyline for us. I think this is the perfect time to segue into kind of some more rapid response.
Ye-
On the whole, how are we feeling questions?
Yes, I agree. We have been waiting for this and we have held back. We have held back for so long, Sarah, and I feel like now is the time we need to get things off of our chest. So, with that said, I want to hear it. Give me 10 words or less now that the series done. Describe it all to me. Where are you at? How are you feeling?
I mean, relieved is the first word. Confused. I still just don't understand why this is required reading, but TBD. I do like them. I just didn't love the book.
Yes. Okay. Totally fair. I'm on the same page. Like, I felt like it could have been an email. It was somehow still endearing though. The characters really brought me in and like I said, I would think about them and like laugh and like when they would do something stupid that was like totally them, I would be like, hee hee, like that's strange for a book that you don't think is that great. On that note, addictive because I would think that I was going to DNF it and then something would happen and I would be hooked all again. Like
Hmm.
I wasn't just pissed off for half the book. And then Stockholm Syndrome is the other thing I could think of because, again, I felt like I was trapped in this world where I was like falling in love with something that was so strangely toxic to me. Like these books, five of them. I can't even believe we did that.
We did it. We
We
did
did
it.
it. We did it. And I'm glad for it. I'm glad for it. We will be able to make the most educated of educated decisions on if it was worth it post ZA4 and beyond. So there you
Yeah.
have it.
That's what we're here for. You're welcome.
You are welcome. Yep.
Let's put our dark feelings to the side for 1 second and just talk. We've talked a little bit about characters, but what are the things that if you're talking to someone who hasn't read the series, what would you say? Why is it a worthy read? What are the good qualities?
I mean, I would leave it at the characters, to be honest. It's slow moving in terms of the plot, but if you are okay with like just hanging around with some like fun dudes. It's a good read. It's a good read. It's fun. It's silly. It's a character driven book. You have to be in it for them and like wanting to see how they grow throughout and like seeing them in the beginning to the end. And the way that I was able to switch from which king I liked the most to the end, that's unlike me, really. So I think that they did a really good job building their characters and having some really great character development. I would say if that's something that's up your alley, more so, and you're okay with losing a little bit of plot to that. It's a good read. Pretty spicy, creatively spicy as well. Like there's a lot of interesting scenes in there that I think were cool. So I would say like if you're down for just like more of a fun, smutty read with some good character development, I think it's a good pick.
Yeah, I agree with you. Those are like my top things on it too. The only thing that I would maybe add is I have a tendency to read multiple books. And so, where I feel the points that I feel like I struggled less than you were where I could just take it in doses on the side and I knew exactly what I was going to get. It's like, I'm going to bed and I'm tired. I'm just going to read a bit of Ruthless Boys because I know that I can like get through a chapter or two and it's not going to require a lot of brain power and I'm okay with that, but then I'm going to read my harder book tomorrow. So, if you're looking for that, it's kind of like a palate cleanser, but it's 5 books, so it's not a palate cleanser. It's that energy, but I do think that had I known that was the vibe, that I also would have had a different experience. I genuinely knew nothing about what to expect. And I think I went in and felt that energy off the bat of there being a mystery and thought we were going to get a mystery. You kind of don't because it takes 5 books. So I don't do well with that kind of thing without having the tone set. And the tone was set by Zodiac Academy and it's a very different feel.
Yes. That's such a great point, actually. It wasn't sold to me the way that it ended up being. Hopefully people watch this and make decisions. I feel like we're shitting on it, but honestly, I think if you're a character-driven person, it's a great pick. It's a great pick, but you got to know what you're getting into. It is kind of more reality show, Love Island style reading, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's Zodiac Academy writing vibes mixed with a very different plot style. But
Mhm.
I don't think there's anyone listening to this episode that either hasn't read the series or is planning to read it because by now
By
it's
now
over
we
for
fucked
them.
it up.
Yeah.
We ruined it.
I mean, we gave them a full spoiler
True.
warning. So if you still want to read it, sure, just forget everything we just said.
Yeah, now that we've gotten the positives out of the way, let's get back into the negatives. What
Right.
made us crazy through the series? Because there was a lot that like set me off a few times. I need to know, Sarah.
One thing that definitely made me crazy was I feel like they really did not use Gareth's POV chapters well at all. Like,
Ooh.
had they been used well, that would have kept me engaged the whole way through. If you used him as the thread
And
to,
like the clues.
yes, the clues and the mystery,
Mhm.
but it wasn't that. And this thing with like Cindy Lou, like I was like, what? Like there was just a lot of fluffiness that took me out of what I thought could be a compelling story. I got bored of the spice. It felt very like mundane and it was just too long. It was
Yeah.
just definitely too long.
Honestly, to summarize it, it was just too long. The one thing too about Cindy Lou, I was so annoyed that we never really got a climax to that whole thing. It was
Yeah.
just like, oh, okay, they dated. I
Yeah.
just can't see Elise's Gareth dating Cindy. Like what was that about? I don't know. It was just too much. I think, you know what? His chapters could have been really cool. And there could have been like little hints that like the Kings and Elise were missing in their POVs that we were seeing that like kept us going. I think if this was 2 books, I would have
Yeah.
ate that shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Even
3 books.
3. I'll give him 3. Give me a good character arc, but I still just feel like there was potential with the mystery, or don't frame it as we're whatever many months until this meteor shower where literally nothing happened. Gareth's death was not revealed based on a timeline of this meteor shower.
Yeah.
There was a meteor shower and an event, but like you're not setting it up for me to be able to follow your lead.
Yeah.
You're setting me up and throwing me off course. So I just, yeah, wish that had been edited a little.
A lot of their twists are really interesting and fun, but this one just felt like things were just thrown in there almost to throw you off. And I would have
Yeah.
liked to have had a better idea of who killed Gareth by the fifth. Like even let's like tick some people off of the list. Like sure we ticked the Kings off, but like why didn't we look into Cindy Lou? Like why didn't we
Mhm.
look into Eugene? Like why is he hanging around all the time? Like you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think if the reader's suspecting certain people, they should be looked into as part of the book.
I think as soon as you get a dark, brooding character that has no face and has a changing voice and is called king, you're like, clearly this guy is the one.
Yeah, but like who?
Who? Yeah.
Like who is he? You know?
We like to do a little who would we recommend this to in these episodes. So, who would we recommend Ruthless Boys to?
I mean, I still think that anyone who likes character development, like very heavy character development, would find something to love. Someone that doesn't take themselves too seriously and is just like kind of in it for the fun, I think would really enjoy this. I personally need a really thrilling, like gripping plot to keep me going. And it just wasn't there for me with these books. Like it really just didn't keep me going after a while. So if that is something that you really need, it might not be for you. But if you're, you know, you're in it for the shits and giggles, there's so much that you could laugh about and just like get on. Like you almost feel like you know the boys by the end of it.
Yeah, I think that I would recommend to someone who wants the full Zodiac Academy experience. Like, I do trust Jamie's point of view, and I think that she has good reasons for it. It's just whether it's jiving with us or not is the question. It's really making me wonder if it would have been more enjoyable to read first, because so far I don't see a reason why not. Why not read Ruthless Boys first and just have that as like a fresh, clean slate kind of a thing? And then go into Zodiac Academy where things are going to like ratchet up. That's like one of my thoughts, that we'll just see how this journey goes. I think that people who like love some smut and love a vibe of like a Twisted Sisters kind of like chills reality TV kind of campy feel, like
Mm.
this is a fun series. I would not put any pressure to read it back to back, would be the other thing. Like you could space it out. We hammered through it. But I do think there's an audience. I've talked to people who really do like it, and just maybe not our cup of tea.
Yeah, I think so too. Like there's so many people who like loved and obsess over these books. So, you know, grain of salt for everything that we say on here. For me, I'm going to say it's a no. I wouldn't recommend it right now.
Yeah.
Like if I like with all of the knowledge that I have at this stage, I would say I don't think it's worth reading, but I'm very curious after Zodiac Academy 4 if we feel any differently.
There's like a part of me that's like, is there a method of like read book one,
Mhm.
do some internet searching on some summaries for book two and probably three and probably four, and then read book five and get the gist of it and get the arcs in a more condensed way, but still feel like you kind of read it. I know that's like cheating, but sometimes you got to cheat. Like our TBRs are crazy. So I just feel like people shouldn't feel like they have to. There's other
Yeah.
ways to get a similar experience.
And hey, maybe one day we'll do some sort of guide for people or, you know, a little synopsis episode to kind of share like what the main plot points were, what things are going to be important in Zodiac Academy. So if that's
Hmm.
something you guys want, let us know.
Yeah.
That is a wrap on this episode of Quicklit. And I do have to say, this was very cathartic and a long time coming. So thank you all so much for listening. Do you agree with our opinions? Or did you love Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac? Hit us in the comments and let us know. And next on the Solarian docket, we are diving right back into Zodiac Academy with Book 4, Shadow Princess. And we are going to be getting some proper insight into whether or not Ruthless Boys was worth it. So definitely stay tuned. You can trust that we'll be reporting back. We read 5 books for this. So we hope you will join us for our next episode airing on Halloween. Until then, we are Fantasy Femme Fatales and we're out.